All right. Good evening. It's such a pleasure to be coming to you. Welcome to the D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute and coaching show. Glad to see my mother, Dolores McRae. She's on. Uh, Thank for all of you that's on all five platforms. I often do a disclaimer. This is not a religious platform or church platform. It is a Christ awareness platform and personal development. And I said again, personal development. So we're very excited to have you on tonight. We're grateful. Give me 1 second. I got to feel what I'm doing. I need to change. Oh, I need to change some here. Let's go here. That's better. Okay. Thank you. I had to change something. But I'm so glad you're here. We have something wonderful to unpack on tonight on our show tonight. So we want to get started. There is how can I start off saying this? There is a law in the universe, the same way we have the law of gravity. We have the laws of nature. We have the laws of the universe. We have the laws of mind. Everything on this earth, in this earth, is built upon laws or principles. And it's so very easy to begin to manifest and tap into the things that you want. First of all, I'm doing my mental wake up. If you don't get one every morning, dealing his personal development mental wake up, you can inbox me and I can import you into our database and you can receive one every morning. We're sending out a little over 7,000. So we're reaching millions because we're on Medium and we're also on WordPress. These are blog blog platforms. And we are on them, reaching literally millions of people. And then I send out over 7,000 every single day. So we're excited about our company. We're excited about helping people in the area of mental health. We're excited about you can't grow unless you learn. You can't learn unless you read. I think I put that out today. There is something on the earth that people don't like knowledge. They don't like to improve their knowledge. They'll rather hold on to something they've been believing and thinking for 30 or 40 years. And I want to tell you, most of that stuff is outdated and disempowering. I don't care where you heard it. I don't care who told you, mother, father, sister, brother. That doesn't mean it's right. That is because they was only repeating what they were taught, and they repeated what they taught. And it goes even back to the slave mentality. This is the mindset and the mentality of especially African-American people of progressing. There's something. And then let me say this. One of the biggest things that can mess you up is religion in man's church. Let me say this, it's not a church platform, but I got to say this because they give you disempowering stuff that you walk around, you quote, and you're saying, somebody mentioned to me this week, they're very good people, and they meant well. They said, hold me up in prayer. I said, hold you up in prayer. Where is that? What scripture is that, hold you up in prayer? I didn't see nobody. He said, you have what you saith. Okay, he said, you speak to the mountain. Nobody have to hold you up in prayer. Nobody, and you don't need 15 prayer partners. What's wrong with you? You don't believe in your prayers? You don't believe in the God in you? You don't believe in the Christ nature and Christ mind within you? It's because you have been taught this outside God on the outer, and you feel that you're trying to do things to connect to him. You don't have to do anything to connect with God. We are connected. One of the greatest laws of the universe is the law of oneness. That means everybody, black, white, rich, poor, animals, we're all connected because we came from the same source. But what's what's holding you all up, all of that stuff, that devil that you run behind, you talk about every 5 minutes. When I in ministry, I don't talk about a devil. Last week I was in revival and I asked them at the end in Virginia, I said, have you heard me talk about a devil all week? They said, no. I said, well, what? In ministry, I never talk about it. What's the purpose of it? It confuses the people of two opposing forces. This is what happened. This is the science of it. There's two opposing forces in their life. Okay. The devil, the God. And so with these opposing forces, they don't know who to believe. They don't know who's doing what. They don't know if it's God doing it, the devil doing it, they doing it. So your main focus has to be the real power, the one power, the source of all creation. And that's the power of God, which is the power of good. So I want to show you how to get some things manifested and the science of prayer and the science of manifestation. That one word, religious folk get confused. You can't take science away from God because it's all mixed up. God that made creation became creation. So you can't separate God and creation or God and the universe. They're all one. And can I tell you something? All of that, the God of the universe dwells within what? Within you. I was one place and they were just out there. I was in a religious setting and they were just screaming, power, send your power, power. And when I went down, I said, can I help y'all? And I'm sure you sung, I used to sing it too, send your power. But I came into the awareness that there's no power coming. All the power there is on the planet Earth and within you. You don't need to beg and plead and sing and tambourine for him to send more power. Ain't no more power coming. He's given you power. Acts 1:8. He's given you power to tread upon serpent. He says he's able to do exceeding abundantly according to the power. But you're not aware of the inner power because you're dealing with conditions that you see. And that will blind you. That will frustrate you because you're looking at conditions. You're looking at circumstances around you. And that's not how you live. The greatest successful people, they don't look at circumstances. They don't look at, and I'm training my mind, and I'm very brief in my conversations because I'm headed somewhere and I want to stay there. God bless you, Pastor Son. Now there's others on other platforms. These are people that's patrons that kind of, but everybody's special. Let me say that. But this is on my main page so I can see who's on others on other pages. We welcome you. I recognize you. I can't see you because I've got like 4 monitors going with a whole bunch of stuff. So we're glad that you're there. Okay. So I'm going to show you what you have scuffled. And see, you feel that in order to get something, this is what the church have taught you. In order to get something, you got to really, for years, go through something. And certain point, it's the making of you. But you can't think. You can't think like that. You got me now? So what you've got to do, and this can be, it's helping you. And they were saying power, send your power. And I went down. I said, let me help y'all. There's no power coming. The power is here. Everything he's going to do is done. There's no power coming through. You've got the power. You got power to tread upon certain, but the church is not aware of what is and what we have and the presence of God within us. So they make it feel it's 2 different entities. We're here and God is somewhere out there. I want to change that concept. God is in you. You're one with him. The scripture says he that is joined to the Lord is one sheep. Again, this is not a church platform, but it's a personal development Christ awareness platform. So there's times I have to quote things to give you the principle to understand. See, what got you here is not going to get you there. So what are you going to do? It doesn't just happen. You make things happen. You've been waiting 10 or 15. I'm just waiting on the Lord to do something. I'm waiting. And I understand there's a patient period, but 15, 20 years, what are you doing during that time? How are you preparing yourself? The things that first of all, everything you need is already in your life. He said he have given. This is the awareness where religious people, they won't come up to it. And then when you show them, they resort back to that old way of thinking, because see, people are tied into systems. God is not his God of order. And there's nothing wrong with religious systems, but you have to know when to break and step outside of those systems to be you. I told him the other night, there's nowhere in the Bible the church folks say, well, just be like Jesus. Well, how was he? Somebody tell me. What did he eat? If he wanted us to be like him, we would all have his DNA. Now, what we are to develop is the Christ mind. And you've got to develop you. God made you to be you. He didn't tell his disciples, y'all be like me. Never told them that. He said, the works that I do shall you do. And that's one of the biggest deceptions that have caused people not to develop personally, career-wise, because they feel that I got to be like Jesus. And the question is, well, how was he? How was he? He had to do what God had called. Hey, Sister Grace, you got to be you. Don't focus on, I'm trying to be like Jesus. Well, how was he? Now, what you have is the Christ mind. Let the same mind be in you that was in him. So he gave you your DNA. Peter had his DNA. Matthew had his DNA. They all had their own DNA. And he never told them to be like me. Y'all be like me. No. He said, the works that I do, you're going to do. His focus was for them to see the working of the Spirit, the working of the Christ mind, not so much the person, because it wasn't the person, it was the Christ that operated. He says, no longer I that do the work, but it's the Christ. And the same Christ, this is not even my notes, the same Christ that was in him is the same Christ, the same mind, come on somebody, the same mind that was in Christ. As you renew your mind, you develop the same mind and the same mindset that Christ had. His mind, he didn't run from problems, but he went face problems head on. When there was a need, he manifested the need. Let me tell you something. Stop praying so much and tap into the principles, God, and use the law of confession. Okay, stop saying stuff you've heard in church. Lift me up in prayer. Where is that? I'm going to lift you up in prayer, and he's in you. Christ is in you. I got to lift you up in prayer. Whatsoever things you desire when you pray, the authority is on you. The responsibility is on you. And it's religions have made it so hard. First of all, when you think about your desires, your thought not should be, I got to reach out and get it. Your thought should be, I receive it. Every time it pops up in your mind, I'm desiring this, I'm desiring that. Because if you don't say, I receive it, there's a wrestling begin to take place. You're frustrated because your mind tell you it ain't going to happen. Stop being hypnotized by circumstances and conditions in your life. I'm preaching Sunday at the church. Listen, struggles does not define you. Your job does not define you. That divorce does not define you. Everything you've lost don't define you. People that have come and people that go, that don't define you. You're defined as the image. You've got to work on not conforming, but being the individual that God created you to be. He created you to be your own individual. I often say, if you're going with the masses, you're going the wrong direction. If you're going the masses of the religious people, of the church people, you're going the wrong direction. You got to go within. Some people get upset when you say, well, there's different parts of us. There's different versions of us. He never told us to be like Jesus. He said, develop the Christ mind, because nobody that's alive walked in him, so you don't know how he was. And what he operated was in the Christ mind. When he told Peter and John, Peter to cast their net, he mattered. You didn't see him pray. He didn't pray, now, Lord, come on down. He spoke the word and went on by his business. That's where the authority is. You speak the word, you confess the word, you confess what you believe, but then doubt comes in, resistance comes in, and you go right back and you go back to your old way of thinking and your old understanding. And that's where the battle is. The resistance is not a devil. The resistance is your own mind, how you were brought up, events in your life, the negative things, the bad things, childhood, because we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are from what we've been through. This is why we have to get our mind renewed, that we don't see people in the same way we did because of our experiences. The least thing they say, we take it personal. Why? Because you're seeing people as you are and not in the reality. You, KJ, you've got to you are hypnotized by conditions. That's what got you. You're frustrated because you're looking at what? You say, well, Dr. Hugh, I can't. You know it's there, but you're leaning towards the reality of the principles of God. Now, this teaching is not for everybody. Now, if you're just still on the milk, then I'm not the person for you. But if you're the one that really want to do something, really want to step outside of all of that religious stuff, you've been doing it all these years, you ain't accomplished nothing. Why? Because you don't know principles. You don't read. Come on, somebody. Warren Buffett reads every day, and he's one of the wealthiest people in the world. You've got to follow what wealthy people do. You all are following what church folks do, what other preachers are doing for this and that, and they ain't doing nothing. Come on, somebody. They ain't really accomplishing nothing, and will hold you back from accomplishing something. You've got to wake up. What you need, you already got. He's given it already to you. You got to wake up and realize, it's resistance. Because your mind is saying how you got it and how you got the job and you here. How you got this? Well, if you got the money, why it's not in your account? That's what we mean by resistance. But you don't even answer that critic, that inner critic, when he says something to you. You know what I tell him? You're too late. It's already done. When they inner critic, oh, this ain't gonna happen. I said, you know what? You're too late. It happened. Healing. It happened at time. It's too. This is what you tell him. It's too late, enemy, because it have already happened. He's already done it. I'm getting into my teaching. I'm getting into the frequency of a thing, and then it manifests. Let me tell you, God not giving nobody no money. He's not giving no money. He said, I've given you the power to get it. Deuteronomy 8:18, y'all are pulling it, but no, you create, look at me. You create money in your life by creating multiple streams of income. As long as you sit on that couch, watching the mailbox, thinking somebody gonna walk, and it may happen, but you don't wait on that. Somebody may walk up and give you $1,000, but when that 1,000 is gone, what you gonna do then? You don't wait for nobody to give you nothing. I told somebody, I've never been the type of person to sit back and wait for somebody to give me anything. You know why? Because there's 8 billion people in the world and there's millions of opportunities, and you have to keep on searching, keep on knocking until you find your niche and do the things you desire, and stop letting religious people make you think if you get ahead, God gonna get you. If you get a business, God gonna get you. That is the biggest lie. Church folks and church can mess you up. Yes, I'm saying it. You got to know who you are. I tell folks, don't you got a whole lot of church folk friends, you ain't gonna get nowhere. Be very honest with you, you ain't get nowhere. Because they ain't talking about getting anywhere. They're Hama Mashama and whatever they do over there, I don't know. But if you hang with them, you get nowhere. How do you know? Because I had to change the proximity and the environment of people that I deal with. I don't even deal with a lot of I don't deal with a lot of church folks. I preach to them and I'm gone. Because I can't come down to that level under any circumstances. So what you have to do, Brother Jalen, you have to apply yourself to reading. Read whatever you want to do, read about it. You want to be, I'm not just talking to you, Jay, anybody, whatever you want to do, what you want to do, what you desire, your dream you have, how much information do you have on that? You're dreaming. You got ideas, you got desires, but how much information do you have? Or you're probably going on information 30 years ago, 20 years ago. You want a beauty shop. Okay, you got to find a new product. I know Paul Mitchell's been around for a while, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff out there. So you have to continually to upgrade and update your information and stop resisting change and stop resisting information that can help you. Don't hold on to stuff that ain't going to help you. Don't hold on to negative thoughts and negative thinking. That's why you've got to be conscious of your thinking and of your emotions, because it's your emotions that take you all over the place. Emotions come before thoughts, and they take you all over the place. And that's where you are now. You're all over the place. You're tired. You're overwhelmed. You're this and that. Why? Because you don't understand your thinking process. There's patterns of your thinking. Yeah, there's patterns of your thinking that you set up because you did not deal with that type of thinking. So this is my daughter. So it deals with a pattern. So you keep thinking something when you don't want to think it, when you're not thinking about thinking that negative, or there's a sensational feeling that comes and you don't like it. Because it comes at a wrong time. It comes when you're trying to be excited. It comes when you're calm, and it comes with a negative thought, with negative sensation, and it can drop you. But what you've got to do is not see the negativity. Don't see the glass halfway empty, but see the glass halfway full. Church people will mess you up. I was listening to Monique on Netflix. I love her. I love her. I listened to her 3 times, her stand-up, because if you haven't watched it, watch it. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Get the information, get the meat, okay, that she tells her life. And she says something about her aunt that became in the LGBTQ community. They didn't say that back then, but she lived an alternate lifestyle. Her mother, which was Monique's grandmother, never embraced her own daughter. She would, in private, she would. But in public, Monique's grandmama would never publicly acknowledge her own daughter, which was Monique's aunt, because she had an alternative lifestyle. And the church told her that's a sin. That's the devil. They this and they that. Let me tell you something. There's still people. There's still people, and they're still human. Okay? This is what I'm saying. They will have you judge it. So you have to watch it to see. So her grandmother died, feeling like she failed because she had a daughter that became into the LGBT community. Her job was to still love that daughter. And when the mother died, which is the Monique grandmother, the aunt became homeless and an alcoholic on the streets. You see why I deal with issues that other folks don't deal with. I deal with stuff that other people don't deal with, because why? It has to be, hey, Brother Victor, it has to be dealt with. Okay? Are you listening to me? You've got to get out, because the religious thing is not working. Why is it not working? Because people are not really moving into the area of principles, biblical principles, laws of the universe. They're not moving to that. So they're just out there, I don't know how I want to say it. They just aiming at whatever. And most folks are raising themselves in church because they've gotten away from the word. I told you before, 2 things happen. I believe in it, and I do it. But we went the route, and it was oversaturated when it came to the prophetic. I believe in it. But the point that I'm making, the last few years, especially during COVID, everybody was prophesying. There's people that weren't even ministers. On prophesying. One young man, I was just at his church, a couple of years ago, and he was just a minister. I look up, he was on Facebook prophesying, and you have to be trained for this. And your message has to be relevant for today and the issues of today, political stuff, economical stuff. People want answers. So it's important. And even I did a wake up thing in leadership rejection, what the leaders go through. Every month, 1,700 pastors leave the pulpit. Many, 20, I think I came in how many churches they shut down. Because, first of all, their message is not relevant. Okay? And you got to reach people. Why I have my company, my personal development company, I send out over 7,000 personal development blogs every morning. It's non-religious because most of my subscribers are non-religious. So I'm very careful with that. I don't change folks' religion. I ain't trying to recruit them. I'm trying to help them with mental health and help them in their thinking and how to get the things they want. Now, I'm talking about like attract likes. Like attract like. The law suggests that similar things are attracted to one another. Well, I talked about one of the greatest laws of the universe is the law of oneness. Everything is connected. Everybody. There's no such thing as black and white and rich and poor and African. I mean, it's a such thing, but inwardly, the real source of us, we're all connected. To the dog, the cat, we're all connected. We've separated ourselves. And in the religious area, denominations, it's gotten a little different, but it's still heavy out there that people are bound by, I'm this, I'm Baptist, I'm Pentecostal, I'm this. You better be Christ's awareness in Christ's mind, because people don't care what name's on the door. The majority of the people, they don't care what name is on the door. Okay? So, hey, Sister Patty, so what I'm trying to tell you, the principle, like attract like. Okay, scripture-wise, if you want that, every seed reproduces after its own kind. Whatever seed thoughts that you keep watering in your mind, God cannot move outside of your belief, and he cannot move outside of your mindset. He can't do anything. If you don't see it, if you don't believe it, if you don't have it settled in your life, he can't do it. What happened to the spies? They did not enter in because of their perception. What is your perception of you? What is your perception of life? Most of you, church have messed you up that you don't even know you. I said earlier, they mess you up. Oh, be like Jesus. He never told us to be like him. And there's nowhere in the Bible. We're supposed to develop, again, the Christ mind. But somebody, well, I want to be like, then how was it? What did he eat? What did he like? What time he went to sleep? What time he got up? He never told the disciples, be like me. He did tell them the works that I do. But Victor, he gave all of us our own individual DNA and the blueprints on the inside. And you got to get out of the religious mind, tap into the Christ mind, and begin to develop. When I got into personal development and I began to develop me, I started doing great things. I started, because whatever you're going to do, it has to come from you because it's coming out of you because it's a part of you. Oh, I like that. I don't know if I can say it again. I'm not going to say it again, but I like that. You see what I'm saying? Learn to become the person that God made you to be. See, don't try to be like nobody else because just be, look, oh, that's taken. Everybody else taken. So you got to be you. You got to stop and sit down and believe in you. God wants you to believe in you. He's on the inside of you. There's no power. I told him last week, there's no power coming. The power's already here. It's the things that we say and sing that's so disempowering. And this is why people are not seeing manifestation. And that's why they're leaving the church. Because why? It ain't because they don't want God or they want, no. They want help and they want answers of everyday situation. And there's things in them that's trying to evolve. There's businesses, there's corporation in them, entrepreneurs that's trying to evolve. And many of you are like that. And you're frustrated and you're miserable because you got a big old watermelon of an idea growing on the inside and you don't know what to do. You don't know how to handle it. If you don't go within, you go without. This is why personal development, I give people tools. Things just don't fix themselves. You got to fix it. You do your part, and the Christ will help you because he helps us. He don't do it for us. We'll work together. We're workmen together. You don't just sit back. And that's why I'm saying you got to believe that the power of God is the only and the greatest power on planet Earth. Are you listening to me? And the more you get into, okay, it is based on law, like of attraction, or the law of attraction. Now, religious people, they run from that because they don't understand it. Law of attraction has been around every system. It's been around for a while. It was been on the earth from the beginning. But the knowledge of it started with the Egyptians, and in the East, this is how they operated. And some of people in the Western country religiously, they're catching it, but they don't understand it. So many times people, the law of attraction, it's a law that's on the universe. It's physics. It's here. It's like the law of gravity, the law of thinking. As a man thinketh in his heart, that's a law. And it doesn't change for me, you. If you work it, it works if you work it. Somebody please type that in for me. Somebody type that in for me. It works if you work it. You've got to, you say, what I'm trying. Let me tell you something. Many of you got corporations and you ain't talking about no business. Why do you think, this is not even in my notes. Why do you think, all these stores closing? J.C. Penney, Sears is gone. Subway is closing some stores. Walmart is closing stores. Oh, because of the economy. You better wake up and see what God is doing. He said the first shall be last. That's why get your mind off of your problems and open your mind to a divine idea. Thank you, preacher. Thank you, Brother Victor. Open your mind, because who would have thought Walmart would close stores? Who would have thought that? Walgreens are closing stores. CVS. That's not a negative. It's a negative, and I hate to see the business go like that. Bed and bath. They're home. Was it home good? See, the universe is a vacuum. When one thing is, it's like if a flower goes, it goes away. But weed, it goes right back because it fills that vacuum. So what have happened with these major stores or whatever, he promised listen to me prophetically. I'm trying to show you something. I don't get into a lot of that because my thing now is giving people tools, but I still see. Okay. What he's doing is pushing those that's had a business, that had desire, and seemed like you're the little man, you got a home business. You know, I did a thing about Richard Branson. That's for tomorrow, Mental Week. Richard Branson, many businesses, but he was known for Virgin Atlantic Airlines. One thing that made him so popular is that he was able to balance his business, his family, and himself. Okay, Richard Branson never even owned a desk, and he still don't own a desk. See what I'm saying? You got to find out what resonates, what works for you. I gave the story about Edward C. Barnes. He became the assistant to Thomas Edison. Here, this is a wonderful story. I told it last week in Virginia. He was so determined. He visualized. See, your dream, your vision has to drive you. When people walk away from you, that's an indication it's a shifting taking place in your life. Daddy, well, why they leaving? When people mistreat you, they're not doing nothing but oh my God, I feel this. Let me calm down. I feel the anyway, the little church pop in. When you're mistreated by people, there's a lesson in that. Oh, this is strong. This is heavy. First of all, when people mistreat you, you're not the problem. They have a problem with you. Okay? Can I say it again? And that's why you smile. I don't run into a lot of that because I don't run into no drama because the people I deal with are on a whole nother level. You get businesses and personal development groups I speak in. So I feel this for somebody. The pain, the disappointment that you go through because of being mistreated at work, being mistreated at home, being mistreated by your family. That's okay. It's okay because it's bringing out something in you that whatever they do or say should not disturb you. So it's showing you that's an area of growth. And I like this because I never said it before. It's showing you when you're mistreated and folks handle you a certain way, that's showing you, number one, they got a problem. So why are you upset with their problem? It's not your problem. It's their issue because something about you they really like. A person one time, they told me a story, and they people would say, "Oh, you just think you so cute." She said, "No, you think I'm cute. That's why you're saying it." And evidently, that's how it goes. Okay, give me a few more minutes. I want to say this. Thoughts. I always say this: you're not your thoughts. You're not your struggle, your career. That's not you. That's just a part of what you do, but it's not you. So you have to keep yourself separated from your struggles, your disappointment. Don't let them become a part of you, because what happened, it grows and it grows. And before you know it, 10 years down the road, you're dealing with something that happened 15 years ago because you didn't process it. And I'm telling you now, you have to process it. Stuff don't fix itself. You have to fix it. When you've got dreams and desire, you have to work towards that. You have to work towards it. There was a time that I had a 2002 van. It was given to me by a friend of mine. Joseph Hargo gave it to me, and I had it, and I still got it. The people coming by want to buy it. It still runs good. I just don't drive it anymore. But I drove it because I wanted to get to a certain place, and then when I got to that place, sometimes you got to crawl before you walk, because if you're not ready to manifest something big, don't get out there like that. You start with small stuff. So most folks are not ready to manifest $1 million because they don't even have no type of financial literacy. All this time while you waiting for this to happen and waiting for that to happen, instead of sitting somewhere like you've been baptized in lemon juice and wean on the pickle, develop yourself. Develop your communication. Develop your skills. Develop your personality. Get the frown off your face. Go into the a mirror and smile. Practice smiling. That's what Winston Churchill would do before he would speak. He would get in the mirror and he would do a speech in the mirror. It's not wrong. But many of you are afraid to get in the mirror because you don't like you. You're afraid of you. Thoughts are like neurons release brain chemicals known as neurotransmitters, which generate these electrical signals. We're all made. You're thinking. Why did he give you a mind? He gave you a mind to think. We're not like the cat. We're not like the dog. We have our own mind. Get out of your heart. Okay? Now, let me say this here. Thoughts become things. I need somebody to write that down. Thoughts become things. Everything around you came out of somebody. Started with a thought. A car, whatever, started with a thought. A van started with a thought. The computer, Apple, started with a thought. And Steve Jobs got fired from one company when he first started. Then he left, but he kept on. The key to it is being consistent. The key to it is like a train. I better do that because Monique was doing that, but in a different way. So the point that I'm saying is that just what it's a patient period, but the patient period is to develop you. You've got to, God's not going to develop you. He give you the tools, but you got to develop you. This is a do-it-yourself thing. He said, work out what? Your own soul salvation. You don't have to look for another. That's why I often talk about the prophetic. I mentioned that because we were oversaturated with that. And the prophetic was never designed to lead you. Every revival, you're getting the prophecy. Every revival, you're finding a prophecy. When you going to grow up and work principles? When you going to grow? Ain't nothing wrong with prophecy. I ain't saying that. It's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there comes a point of spiritual maturity that you begin to walk in the principles, the guaranteed principle, just like the law of gravity is guaranteed. It works for anybody, everybody, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you believe in the law of attraction or not, it's still real. It's physics. Everything is vibrating. The table, the chair that you're in, you may not see it, but you put a magnifying glass in, you see all kind of stuff going on because everything is always vibrating. Your words vibrate. That's why you have to be careful what you say. All right. So thoughts become things. Then we're ultimately the creators of the life and circumstances we now find ourselves. All right. Don't be tied into conditions. What you're dealing with is only a condition. And then what I tell people, you have to ask yourself, is it really a problem or is it just something that you have cooked up in your head? Come on, somebody. Because there was a response or you saw something or you went through an emotional feeling and you let it build and then you began to interpret it as a problem. But is it really a problem? Or is it something that you perceive, and now you've got the whole city, your whole community talking about something you're going through, and it's not even about that. You're not even supposed to be talking about that. You have to rewrite your story. And I told folks the other day, I said, you don't need another prayer partner. Y'all don't have 50,000 prayer partners. What you need to do is become a part of a mastermind alliance group with other like-minded people that's doing what you're doing, accomplishing what you're accomplishing, and have accomplished, and see what they got to say. And most of the time, the information that you need, you got it. I'm a part of groups, real estate groups. We in, my wife's in real estate groups, because we're in the short-term leasing. I've got groups that I'm in, and every time I go on and even just look at the different posts, there's always something that I need, and I get it and I go. But you don't have enough confidence in you and the God that's in you that you feel you got to bombard heaven. Where did y'all get that from? I'm serious. Stop saying this disempowering stuff. And if somebody said, you ain't got to respond. And whatever's going on with your life, there's no explanation. If you got a new car, oh, I like that car. Oh, it ain't nothing but a little. No, thank you. I like your dress. Oh, this is something I had 20 years ago. Why are you telling folks that? They don't know when you got it. Because you feel that you got to give them a reason for what you got on. You don't know explanation. Oh, I had this 10 years ago. Why are you telling that? For they know you just got it. Leave it like that. Stop talking so much. You get a compliment, receive it. Don't feel that you got to go underneath. Oh, it ain't nothing. What's wrong with you? Gratitude and thankfulness. Because you know what you had to go through to get to where you are. Okay? I told you thoughts become things. That's in your thinking. I may pick up on this. I say that a lot. I go to something else. Everything is energy, including people, plants, animals, and even animated objects. That's all. Your thoughts and feelings create energy. Since I've been talking, look at me. Since I've been talking, there's been a negative sensation about something way happened yesterday, happened last week. Those are the kind of things you've got to grab it and you got to process it properly because it's coming back. But if you begin and don't ignore it, okay? Don't ignore it. If it's a thought, thoughts can come that you never thought you would even think of. Thoughts of this, somebody pulled in front of you, you think, oh, I want to get out of this rapper. Sexual stuff, social issues, suicide issues, low self-esteem. You got to come up above that stuff. And God is not going to do anything until you come up and you develop yourself. Christ, he grew in wisdom, okay, and stature, and that's how the favor comes. Favor comes through wisdom. I'm not just talking about church wisdom. The Christian Bible says that wisdom crieth in the streets. You got to get the wisdom of the thing. I don't care what your friend going through. Doesn't mean it's the same thing for you. You got to get the wisdom of it for your life. Oh, well, I did this, I did that. No, you don't jump and do that. I'm saying that's why it's important to read. The more you read, the more options you have in making decisions. Most of you are making the same messed up decision over and over. You have to go back and fix it over because you're trying to solve problems with the same mindset that created the problem. You got to change this. You got to do something. You got to fix it. You got to see what options you have. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to walk in those areas. Okay? See, law of attraction. We're like magnets. You're thinking what you feel. The book of Acts. I think it's somewhere in my notes. If not, I got to pull it up. The book of Acts, the scripture in Acts that says, somebody find that for me. I got a few more minutes. Filled after God. Well, I thought they said one. Let me find it. Let me find it because I wanted to share. It's in my notes. I want to share it. It's in my notes. But hold on, my daughter. Hold on. Okay, tell your mother. She don't feel well. Okay, well, I'm on my line. Come here. The people see you. Come here. You want to say hello? Okay, you ain't get ice cream yet. All right, let me find that scripture. It's my daughter. She don't care about me being on. I don't think she wanted some ice cream. Let me get this scripture for you. I want you to write this down. Acts 17, 27 through 28. Okay, it says feel after him. What are you saying? Because you've got, the more you feel that it's done, the more it comes. Over in the book of Job, so what you decide on will be done. Or it says you shall decree, you shall order. And when you speak confession, you're speaking that it's done because he's not doing anything. It's already done. Look at me. God is not doing anything. It's done. And that's the gripping of the awareness that he's not doing anything. It's done. When he said it was finished, we just come out of Easter. When he said it was finished, people really don't believe that because they're still going back and forth. The way he dealt with them in the Old Testament was different. New Testament was empowering. Old Testament, they had to depend on him. But New Testament, he gave them individually and gave them authority. You speak to the sycamore tree. It would obey you. That's what he told him. You didn't need me. You speak to it. Speak to stuff in your life. And the more you say it, sometimes the harder you get, harder it gets. That's when you know something's happened. When you begin to think something, believe something, or feel something, and you meet resistance, that's a sign that you're on the right road because it's not easy. Changing yourself, it's not easy. Changing your mindset, it's not easy. Changing the way your emotional patterns and mental patterns, it took years to get there. Now, it don't take years to get from under that, but you have to go to work. You have to go to work in your mind. You see, with this personal development, I dived into it all the way. And I'm on it. I'm listening. I'm reading every day. And every day, there's something about me that I'm working on. Because I see something emotionally, limited belief. I see those things. And in seeing those things, it allows me, hold on, my daughter. It allows me to know what I need to work on. Okay? Develop you. Get personal development material, self-help books. Because it's not going to happen until you develop you. Because whatever you desire is already in you. It's already in your life. He's given us. He hath given us all things. So you got it. You talk about vortex. It's already in your vortex. It's in your vibration. And so you're all over the place trying to get it. And you telling God, Lord, do this. He said, do what? I already done that. Lord, heal me. I already done that. Lord, I need a financial blessing. Well, he's already done that. He's not giving money. He's giving the power to get it. These are and it's so simple. Even so simple, child error. Because religion, I'm just about finished. Religion have made it so hard. And listen, don't you swipe yet. Let me tell you something. Tanisha said, hey, Ashley, she gone now. She wanted some ice cream, Tanisha. What I'm saying, stop. Just slow down. Don't rush it. It's going to happen. But in the happening, you've got to happen. Oh, write that down, Tanisha. I like that. And what you want to happen, you've got to happen first. You got to see you, them limited beliefs, them low, man, that inner critic, he comes after all of us. You walking in the store, he'll tell you, oh, they're better than you. They're better than looking at you. They this and they that. Don't believe that. Even if who cares? Let me go back to before I go, let me do my wake up for tomorrow. Because I want to share it. You those going to get it, you'll get it tomorrow. It's over 7,000. It says, let go of trying to control. See, you want to control everything in your life. Let me tell you something. You can't. I can't. You can't. Nobody have ever took full control. And can I tell you something? God is not even in full control because He gave you a choice and to think people. God in full control. He gives you a will. He's not going to make you do anything. You can't tell a girl that just got raped, a 15, 14-year-old girl just got raped. You can't tell her, well, God is in control. You got to explain to her a little bit more than that. Because she'll grow up hating God. God let me get raped. I told you, church will mess you up. I love God's church. I'm talking about man's church. I'm talking about God's church. And God's church is only a remnant. All this stuff that you're seeing all around it, ain't no foundation. You must learn to let go. Release the stress. That's the only way you get rid of stress is letting go whatever's going on in here. And just because you let it go, please don't leave. Let me tell you something. Just because you let it go doesn't mean that you're not going to think about it. But it doesn't. The more you do it, it doesn't have that negative effect on you. Because there's nothing you can do, nothing I can do to stop negative thoughts from coming. That's all a part of being in a race consciousness. You can't stop negative thoughts. They're going to come. And sometimes y'all look at me. That's why I say it's not a church plan. Sometimes the thoughts that come, they ain't pretty. But remember, you're not your thoughts. I don't care how it may be. You are not your thoughts. I talked about it, but even sexual thoughts. Let's be real. This is not a church platform. This is personal development. You have crazy sexual thoughts. Don't kill yourself over it. Anytime I literally kill yourself, don't beat yourself. Just work, just let it go. That ain't me. But if you fight it, what you fight, you ignite. Can I say it again? What you fight. I'm dealing with thought patterns in the reality of things that, thank you, T, thank you. What you want to happen, you have to happen. And as you happen, it happens. That's how the law of attraction works. You attract who you are, not what you want. When you become the business, I became D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute. It's a part of me. It's a drive. It's a dream. And I'm learning how to develop it. How does a personal development business go? How to do this. When you got an idea, learn everything about it. Don't sit and complain and look at conditions. Looking at conditions that are around you, people that are around you, who don't like you, who said something, and that's why you're where you are, because the Spirit is trying to show you you need to grow up in that area. If rejection bothers you, really bothers you, you got to work on that. Because you can't, how you have a multi-million-dollar corporation? Sometimes people go, you think Elon Musk worry about who rejects him, even former President Trump? He don't care who rejects him. He keeps going and keep going, keep going and keep going. It's a mindset. I don't agree with everything, but I'm talking about his mindset. I'm not talking about what he does and this, and I'm talking about his mindset. You're stressed. Look at me. Don't you go nowhere. You're stressed because you're trying to control it. And you realize you can't control it. And you got to realize nobody can control everything in their lives or what's going to happen. So we worry. We worry as a defense. That worry is a defense just in case when it happens that I'm already, I don't worry about it, so I'm ready for it. And can I tell you something? Most likely, 99 times out of 100, it ain't gonna happen. It's all in your mind. Look at me. A lot of this stuff is in your mind. Look at me. A lot of the stuff you're dealing with is not a reality. It's in your mind. You got to go in your head and deal with it. And stop the inner critic from telling you all kind of crazy stuff that sets you in depression. We all have to work. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about I have to work, because the more successful you become, the more challenges you become, the more money you make, the more challenges you have. Job had a fear of losing everything. But here's the law of attraction. Job said, the thing that I have greatly feared. He lived in a great fear. We all have fears of being, as a child, a baby, fears of being dropped. We all have that. But Job had a fear of losing his 10 kids. And it was a great thing that he greatly feared. Job 3. The things he greatly feared have come upon him. That's what the law of attraction does. Whatever you keep feeling, you keep thinking, you keep saying it, be it positive or negative, you're ordering it. It is going to come. It's like going to the restaurant and putting an order in. You keep saying it, it's coming just like you said. You can't play with it. And you don't get upset when people try to correct you, because they're trying to help you live. They're trying to help you keep your energy up. Correct me. If I'm saying something negative, correct me. I don't do a lot of talking to people because I'm at a place. As Nehemiah said, I'm doing a great work, and I don't come down for nobody. I don't live in a negative zone for nobody, not even for myself. Although thoughts are powerful, the feeling that the thoughts generate are what actually attract things into our life. The law of attraction works by your feeling. You feel. I told you that Acts said, feel after God. The law of attraction works. I know I lost some of you. That's don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. 3 for 3. Your thoughts, your feeling, your actions all have to be firing simultaneously in the same direction. Can I say it again? Your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. You have to become one with you. We're one with Christ. I and my Father are one. That's why they got upset with Jesus. They called it blasphemy, because he was giving them awareness that we're one with him. He wasn't, and that's what religious people do. When you start talking faith and your confession and your thinking is right and your actions are right and you're doing something, you got to act outside the box. There's things on the universe that you've never even thought of before. There's information that's everywhere. And you're still in one little church with one little box. And you're trying to figure out why people won't come. They won't come because there's not a relevant message to deal with everyday issues they have and help them become themselves. Y'all telling people just be like Jesus. That's confusing because we never wasn't around him. There's nobody can tell me how he was. He made you. He never told the disciples to be like him. I don't care what nobody says. He told them the works that I do. And then Paul understood that you have, they'll understand, you have the mind of Christ. That's what you develop, not depression, not frustration, not anxiety, and not fear, not doubting yourself. Okay? Just about finished. What I've got here. Make decision on where you are going versus where you have been. Can I say it again? Make decisions based on where you're going, not where you've been. That was Job 3:25. He said, the thing I feared has overtaken me. That explains the law of attraction. Job kept fearing he was going to lose everything, and it happened. He greatly feared, not just feared. So you mean every little thing I say, it's going to come out? Don't take a chance. Just talk. It comes because your subconscious, which is your heart, Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Doesn't know whether you're playing, doesn't know whether it's a reality or it's an imagination. The subconscious mind doesn't know. So that's why images in your mind, things you're thinking, you have to be careful because the subconscious mind doesn't know whether you're playing or not. Don't play, I'm so broke. I'm just playing. You can't do that. because it doesn't know. Only thing it knows is to carry out our confession, what we feel, and our actions. This is what God have given us to get the thing that's Ashley in the background. All right, Ashley, no, I'm gonna probably pick up at another time. Let me say this here. I want to say this here. One day the horse broke through. A farmer and his family in ancient China owned a horse. I'm going after this. His neighbor said how lucky he was to have such a fine horse to pull his plow through the field. The farmer said, maybe yes, maybe no. One day the horse broke through the gate and ran away. His neighbors came around to lament his terrible loss, saying it was a terrible bit of bad luck. The farmer said, maybe yes, maybe no. Days later, the horse returned to the farm along with 7 wild horses. His neighbor came around to explain his remarkable good fortune, saying, now you are rich. The farmer said, maybe yes, maybe not. I got to go, y'all. See you next week. It's been wonderful. When I say it's been wonderful, I love doing what I do. I love it very much. I'm in the business of helping people. If you want to give a donation on today, here's information here. Let me get here. If you want to give a donation to help our company change lives and hack minds, there's information there. That's actually trying to pay the notes to the music. She had the note too, that's why I had to look around. She hit the right note. The ear hit it. Okay, that's information. I'll leave it for a few seconds. I'm going to put this up too. It makes it a little easier. Yeah, just those that would give a 23, at least a $23. You can give less, whatever. Do something. It helps. I mean, we're trying to expand this thing. There's the Cash App thing. You can put your phone up to it, or you can get the information on the bottom. And you can be a blessing to our company. Okay? All right. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'll see you next Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. D. Leonard Hughes here. Thank you for listening.